Hi, everybody. I am so excited to be on this call today with my dear friend and Executive Regional Vice President, Catherine Ann Terracina. You guys, this girl is on fire. She is rocking and rolling in her Arbonne business. To give you a little background, she promoted to the Regional Vice President level in just 9 months. And a month later, she promoted out her first Regional Vice President, who is 19 years old. So they have got a pretty impressive track record. They are doing the do, and that's really why I'm on here with Kat today, because she has so much valuable information and insight. And I just want you guys to know that she really is following the system. She's working hard and she's helping other people live the life of their dreams through the gift of Arbonne. So I'm just going to interview her, do a little bit of interview style here, and ask her a few questions. And I didn't introduce myself, but my name is Kate Snyder. I'm 22 years old, and I'm a national vice president, and I have the privilege of being Kat's sponsor. So first question, Kat, how are you sponsoring people? Are you using social media, events, launches? What's your reach out method?
Okay, I really love using all of those things. So, for example, on social media, I am constantly looking for my next girl and someone that I think would be great at this business, just because I follow them on social media and I kind of see their personality through that. So I'll kind of keep that open line of communication. Like, I'll comment on their pictures, I'll reach out to them. And really, a lot of people will reach out to someone and not get a response and give up and just say that that person doesn't want to do Arbonne. But I'm not kidding. You can look through my messages. I will reach out to people 10 times until they respond, because when I have my mindset on someone that they're going to join my business, they are going to join my business until they tell me, get out of my face, stop talking to me, you're crazy. I keep messaging people and messaging. So social media is one way. Parties and launches are the other way. Every time I go to a party, I am looking for my next business partner, and I am talking to people about joining the business. And that is the main thing that I focus on actually during the presentation, is our business and really showing people what's possible with Arbonne. So definitely those two are my main things. I just wanted to mention also, I've had, I would take so I've had huge parties where we sell $2,000 worth of stuff, but no people that want to do the business. But I would much rather have a low volume party, but actually sponsor people, because that's going to turn around and do huge things for your business. I hope that makes sense. But
yes, we'll take the business builders all day long over the high volume, because business builders duplicate. Preferred clients do not. Love that answer. So you really do a little bit of everything. You leave nothing on the table. So basically, Kat, can you break down the activity of how many reach outs you do in a week or a month?
Oh gosh. Okay. I really do talk to hundreds of people a month. So every single day I'm reaching out to, at least 3 people, but probably more. So I'm reaching out to people that I've been talking to for, that I've talked to a year ago, and that I'm still trying to get to the business. So older people that still haven't really joined me yet. And then I'm reaching out to new people, and I'm talking to detoxers that I want to upgrade to consultants. So really, at least a few people a day, but that adds up. I probably talk to hundreds a month, but the only way to talk to hundreds a month is to make sure you're talking to people every single day.
Totally. Because also, that the statistic is 1 out of every 10 people is going to join you. So to make those chances greater, you have to increase the amount of people that you're talking to. Love that answer. So how do you start a new consultant? What are you saying to them? What's their job when they first sign up and get started?
Okay, so I actually used to stress out about this, and I didn't think that I was a good leader and didn't know how to start people off. But actually, if you just follow the system that we have in place, it's so easy to start new consultants. So I have them go to Soul Nation and go through the Getting Started tab and actually print it out and go through it. Mm-hmm. And I tell them the next thing to do is to text me their 2 launch dates, and we'll go from there. They don't have to know everything right away to get started. They just need to go through that, and I will teach them more at their launch parties. And, I tell them to go ahead and get active on social media and start promoting it. So that's kind of what I do with new people, and it seems to work pretty well.
Totally.
People are willing to trust the system and follow it.
And learning as they earn, right? Because really, their job is to get us in front of their people, right? Like get the people and we will help you with the information. Like you said, you don't have to know everything to start out with. You don't have to be an expert. You just need to be sharing this information with people. Next thing, what does activity mean to you and how much are you in? Clearly we know you're in a lot. So what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it means a lot of different things. There's not just one thing I love to do. I do love talking to people one-on-one. I think that's super effective. Like, especially I love setting up phone calls, and especially with new consultants, because they aren't quite sure on how to share the business yet. So me being able to do that for them and really teach them a few times, and then they're good to go. So I love doing phone calls and FaceTiming people. Zoom calls are great. And then of course, just like, when you're getting your hair done and you talk to your hairstylist about, what you're doing this weekend. Oh, I'm going home to launch a business partner. So just like bringing it up actually in everyday conversations with new people, because that's really how you're going to reach new people. You come into contact with new people that you've never met before every single day. So just like kind of being bold and sharing your heart and, what this business is doing for you and what it can do for other people.
Totally.
So I would say like activity looks like a lot of different things to me. I don't just pick one thing. I kind of do it all.
Totally. And I mean, even this morning I went to an Orange Theory workout class and there was another new girl and I sat down next to her and she of course asked me what I did. So I got to tell her I do Arbonne and she said she'd heard of it before. So I'm like, perfect. We're going to be Instagram friends and you're going to learn about it. So there's always people, if you are keeping your eyes and your ears open, there's always an opportunity to share. What's your favorite thing to say to someone when you tell them about Arbonne?
Okay, so I really love to tell people and kind of put myself in their shoes, because I know they're probably super skeptical and super unsure. So I love telling people that I was in the exact same position. Like, I was so skeptical. And it was really just because I was so uneducated on this business and, network marketing in general. So I love to tell people that and how Arbonne has really been a vehicle for change in my life and change in other people's lives, and just kind of sharing my testimony with people, because it really is insane to think about, because I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary with Arbonne, and like thinking about where I was a year ago and how much has changed in a year is just mind blowing to me. And that's something that I want to share with everyone. So really just allowing yourself to be open and be real with people about your journey.
Totally. Well, and I think the biggest thing for you is like you're going to pharmacy school. It's not like Arbonne is your only choice. Arbonne is the choice that you want to make. You have other options, but you love Arbonne. You love what it stands for. And I think there's a lot to be said for that. People who are lawyers and doctors choose Arbonne over that profession for the time and financial freedom.
Oh, yeah. And pharmacists make a great salary, but what they don't have is time freedom. And that's something that only Arbonne can offer you. So I think that's pretty incredible.
Totally. So how do you get someone to listen to you, and do you talk to them over the phone, in person, text, and like what's that verbiage look like for you when you're talking to somebody?
Okay, so I have actually noticed this come up a lot with a lot of my girls that are newer. They will reach out to someone, and if somebody doesn't respond, you're not actually talking to someone. You have to be having a dialogue with someone. They have to be responding for you to count it as a reach out, as someone you're talking to. So I don't have people respond to me on the first time either. So I think I said this earlier, but basically I reach out to people 10, 12 times until they respond to me. And that's kind of how I have conversations with people, because people are, threatened and like they're not sure about what we're doing, and so they're not going to be just like jump right on board. So you have to really, the fortune is in the follow-up in this business, and as soon as you can understand that and set your pride aside and really keep reaching out to people over and over again, because we have a gift that they need in their life, then you're not really going to be in a place where you're ready to go to the next level.
Well, and that's the best part of people's story. I mean, in Avery's story, she talks about how I followed up with her 7 and 8 times and she thought I was crazy. So just know that one day that persistent follow-up is going to be part of somebody's success story. So know that your follow-up and your being consistent with somebody is going to be part of their success story.
Oh, and I just think about like Hannah, who is my VP on my team. She like put me off for months and months and months, and I just kept reaching out. But I'm pretty sure right now she's happy that I stayed with her. I was persistent because she's
I would
driving
say
a brand
so.
new Mercedes. So
Yeah, her whole life has changed. I would say she's happy about it. What's a mistake that you've made? Because you seem pretty darn near perfect. So what is something that you've done that you would tell other people not to do?
So this was like tough for me in the beginning, but really like um I would have some people on my team that like just didn't want it at all, and I would just like spend all of my time and energy in them because I wanted it to work out. I wanted it more than they wanted it for themselves, and that wasted a lot of time and energy on my part, and I could have used that time to sponsor new people and find new business builders that wanted to do this business. So that's a mistake that I've made, and really the only advice that I could offer with that is really keeping that line of communication open with those business builders that aren't quite ready to build their business, because one day they might decide to come back and build their Arbonne business. So you just want to keep that line of communication open, that friendship open. It doesn't necessarily have to be about Arbonne, but you just want to keep it open so that when they are ready to come back, you're there with open arms ready to bring them back. But really, Peyton used to always tell me this in the beginning. She's like, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. So that's so true. We can't force anyone to do anything they don't want to do. So you can't, waste your efforts on people. You have to like go on and build more people. I'm not saying like not to work with someone and like get them to that place where they're ready, but some people just don't want to do it.
Totally. And it really is a lot of wasted energy. You want to help people who want to help themselves. And gosh darn it, sometimes there are people that have the most potential in the world, but potential doesn't pay, right? So I would much rather take somebody who has quote unquote less potential, but an incredible work ethic. I would take that all day long over somebody who looks real great, has a real great network, but isn't willing to do the do. And then what would you tell someone who thinks they don't know enough people? This is kind of your story. This is what you told me.
Yeah. So I'm not just saying this, but okay. I'm from Mississippi, but my freshman year I went to a school, Washington and Lee in Virginia. And I did a long distance relationship that whole year, and just I'm a homebody. I wanted to be back home in Mississippi. So after my freshman year, I transferred to Ole Miss, which is, in Oxford, Mississippi, where I grew up going to football games and all that stuff. So I was so happy to be back home, but I found quickly when I transferred there that a lot of people already had their friend groups, and it wasn't that easy to make friends. So, and I'm not like saying that for you to feel bad for me, because I also like, I would go home every weekend and go see my boyfriend, whatever. So I didn't have really any friends in Oxford. I have one friend actually. She's in my pre-pharmacy class. And anyway, so when I started this business, Peyton told me that I just had to share it with my friends and family and get in front of them. And that scared me because I knew my parents would buy from me, but I didn't know of anyone else that would buy from me, much less join my business. So I was terrified going into this. But I will tell you, even though you may have like 3 friends, and I had one friend at Ole Miss and maybe 2 others from other schools, but I obviously know more than 3 people, and that's how I was able to build my business, like stepping out of my comfort zone. For example, one time I did a party at my house in Oxford, and I asked my roommate to invite her friends over. So it ended up being a great party because I asked someone I did know to invite their friends. So you kind of have to do that. The people, whether it's like a family member, you ask them to bring their friends together for you so you can get out of your network. And that allowed me to really get out of my network. Also, social media played a huge role because I got out of my comfort zone and reached out to people. I went through my address book in my phone and reached out to every single person I knew, people from home, people from Washington and Lee that I met my freshman year. So I don't know. I'm not saying this like as a joke. I really did have 3 friends and I was able to build a business. So, even if you feel like your network isn't big, you can do it if I can. It will cause you to get a little bit uncomfortable, but obviously that's so worth it now, like any uncomfort that I felt over the past, year.
Totally. Well, and that was really my pushback in this business as well, too, because I seriously had about 3 really close friends, and I thought, you know what, I don't even know if those people are going to do this business with me or buy products from me. You know more people than what you're originally thinking of, but what you're doing is you're making a decision in your head for them, thinking like, I know this person, this person, this person, but they're not going to do Arbonne. Well, you have no idea, because the most unlikely people end up joining you. And I also just want to clarify that Kat and I, we talk every single day. We are the best of friends, but we have literally seen each other in person 4 times. 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you that because a lot of people love to use the excuse, well, if I was closer to my sponsor, if I was closer to meetings, if I got to have that community, then I would be a vice president. Then I would be where I want to be. You guys, that's an excuse. That's an excuse because Kat was miles and miles away from me, and she decided to put her big girl panties on and follow the system, do presentations herself, host her own meetings when she was an area manager, just $10,000. And so do not let that excuse get in your head and stop you from going where you want to be, because Kat made a decision, and honestly, she basically was like, Peyton, like, I love you, but even though you're not near me, I'm going to do this with or without you because I want it bad enough for myself. And so just know that you don't have to have all of those things. You don't have to have a sponsor next door to you to be successful. Your sponsor doesn't have a magic touch.
And I mean, we can also just mention the fact that Peyton didn't sponsor me directly. And, you might not sponsor your next rock star directly. It might be through a consultant on your team that doesn't seem to be building their business, but they gather people for you and they might sponsor your next VP. So you just need to also know the importance of, like, Peyton saw me join her team. And I think as soon as I went district is when she reached out to me and started helping me. So seeing, like, the value in, people on your team, even if they're not direct, in helping them.
Totally. And that's really, I had sponsored a girl who had gone, executive district manager. And when I saw Kat come up the pipe, I was like, this girl really is, if she got some coaching and if she got her hands on the material that she needs to be successful, this girl's going to be a rock star. And so I, was able to reach down to her and help her, even though she wasn't direct to me. And you weren't direct to me for about a year.
And I'll just say, when I first started, I didn't even know we had a presentation or anything like that. But I still did parties, and I didn't have a presentation, but I would set out the products and tell people, like, how to use them. I didn't even know we had a business sharing thing. Like, for the longest time, I just had clients. So it just shows, like, you don't have to know everything. We give our people all of the material they need to get started. But when I started, I didn't know any of that. And I just, kept going, even though it was scary and I didn't know what I was doing at all. And it ended up working out because then you showed me how to do a presentation.
Totally. Well, and just know leaders work deep in their organization. They're not always concerned with their paycheck, right? Because sometimes working deeper with people causes you to lose out on a little bit of money. But at the end of the day, it's so worth it because you're helping somebody who's really going to be a rock star in your organization. So I thank you for bringing that tip up. That was really a good thought to touch on. And then lastly, what is your most important piece of advice?
Okay, so I heard this when I first started Arbonne, and it really has stuck with me, like, ever since. When I heard this, I was like, well, if that's what it takes, like, I can do that. So basically, I heard this from Caroline Reed, I think a call she did, like, a long time ago when I first started. But basically, doing a little bit of Arbonne every single day and being consistent in your business is so important. But a lot of people will do that, and they won't really give it the time. You don't know how long you're actually going to have. It might be years before you reach the VP level, but when you reach it, it's going to be worth it. So you have to be willing to give your business the time it needs and then the consistency, and not one or the other, because some people are in Arbonne for years, but they're never consistently working their business, and that's not going to work either. So you have to have both. And that's something that I've done since the beginning, is just every single day I work my business. And Peyton says this all the time, to do a little bit of Arbonne every single day. So I think that's definitely something that helped me. And I was like, well, I can be consistent. I can give it time. I can do this.
I don't have to be great at anything. I just have to be consistent. I can do that. And that is one of my favorite takeaways, actually, Kat. That always rings true. That, some people are in Arbonne for 10 years, but they're never consistent. So they don't get where they want to be. And then people come in for a really short amount of time and they're really consistent and they move really fast, but then maybe they quit in a year.
And another thing I was going to say, I heard, like, from you, actually, when I when I went district is like, and I'm sure you've all heard this, is if you can go district, you can go to the top. And when I heard that, I was like, well, I went district, so maybe. And honestly, like when I went district, I thought it was a fluke, and I went district in 2 weeks. So really, and it's so true, like district is a great place to get to, but you don't want to stay there. You want to keep moving your business. And like every time I promote to a level, I'm like, what's next? Like what do I need to be doing to be moving forward and getting to the next step for me and my team, because your team is never going to go above where you are, and you want to promote so your team can promote.
Yeah, lifting that lid up. And I will just end this call by saying Kat had a rock star month. Her and her team did over $135,000, you guys. And that is 2 months after promoting to the regional vice president level. She will be a nation before her 2-year mark in Arbonne. That being said, you guys, that is what happens when you create a culture of momentum and excitement and passion. And she's leading from the front. She's not asking her team to do anything that she is not doing. So knocking on nation's door. I'm so incredibly excited. Thank you so much for spending your time with us and for answering these questions. I think this call is going to bless a lot of people. I think it's going to show a lot of people that you, as much as you are so amazing, you don't have anything special that everyone doesn't have. So
not at all. That's like every single party. I'm like, if I can do this, y'all can. I'm not just saying that. It's so true. But okay.
Okay. Thank you, sis.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.